Is this power creep? Well, we're about to find out. We're going to be watching Braxaphone's Robin Early Access First Impression. I had work yesterday, so sorry. That's why this is
Look at that damage.
a little late.
She's adding 14k on top of everything. And the damage bonuses are so crazy. It is so good. I have a very special video today because we're going to be going over Robin in Early Access. Now,
Just trying to gauge the volume here for Brax.
About for a very long time. She is a Harmony character, which means that she has big.
I like the animation there.
She's competing directly with May. She's competing directly with Sparkle, Bronya, all the other Harmony characters that want that spot. So we're gonna go over everything.
The big Harmony gang. Will there finally be someone that isn't just May to run every team?
Going over everything that Robin does, where she fits versus other Harmony characters, and I'll be giving you guys a bit of a showcase and showing you her build. With all that being said,
for sure,
this is on the Creator Experience server and not the live game.
Very important.
Things may be subject to change.
Very important. Things could change. Imagine they just nerf everybody. They won't, but just imagine for fun.
It's like super. I don't want to call it extra because I don't think they're doing too much, but there's a lot of things going on with this design.
I do like her design.
Really, really pretty in game, and her
just looks happy. You know, just like when you look at her, you feel happy. That's just me.
Focused on dual DPS compositions. If you look at May, for example, her biggest thing is
the GOAT.
Dual DPS comps. She's a generally good support just across the board because of how much damage bonus she gives. But she gives allies a bunch.
I just can't wait to run her with boothill. I can't wait till we get the boothill one of these. I'm so excited for boothill. 50%. All right, hold up. So, skill point, increased damage dealt by all allies by 50%, lasting for 3 turns. This duration reduces by 1 at the start of every Robin's turn. It's like so many, you know, supports have that. Harmony characters have it. If you don't understand, when it comes up their turn again on the little turn wheel, it ends when using skill, regenerates 5 energy. That's big because I know Robin is an energy-hungry gremlin. She needs energy to ult, a lot of it.
On top of what you're already running. And then she has a trace that also makes it so she gains an additional 5 energy.
But 50%, yeah, 50% is a lot.
Which basically makes her skill a 35 energy gain instead of a 30. Basic attack just does some damage, nothing crazy.
Classic basic attack.
Another blanket buff to your team. It's going to
so increase all allies crit damage by 20%. Moreover, after allies attack enemy targets, Robin additionally regenerates 2 energy herself. Again, another source of her getting more energy. And then we're giving more attack, and now we're giving more crit damage. We're doing damage with Robin on the squad. And then the bonus effect, when the battle begins, this character's action is advanced forward by 25%. Always nice to have people advanced. Have them go
So with that in mind, with the fact that she gains
faster than the enemy,
due to how her kit works, you can basically assume that her ultimate is going to have a massive energy cost.
Yes, sir.
That is the truth.
Oh, 160.
160 energy cost, which is absolutely massive. It takes so long to...
1 second. I'll let him continue. Could we just look at the wall of text approaching us here on her ultimate? Just how long that is and how many words we've got in there. I love when games start pumping out books.
But the reason it takes so long is because her ultimate is just really, really good. They have to balance it somehow. So essentially, when you use her ultimate, she's like Bronya, right? You know, Bronya
putting on the lipstick, looking good
by 100%, so guarantees that they take the next action. Robin does that too, but for your whole team. So essentially, if you use all 3 of your characters' attacks and then you use Robin's ultimate, they get to go again immediately. That in itself is such a massive damage gain, assuming that you...
For sure, like. That's going to be something so important because she gets everyone to go again. You got to remember to time up her ultimate right to make sure you're not wasting that. Like, if you used it before all 3 of your other characters go, then you're just missing out on all the extra damage, you know? Like, and because it's an ultimate, you can just let it fly. Like, as soon as your other character's done, even if Robin's not, you know, next up because it's the ult, just let it fly and well, bam, everyone's going again. You got the whole squad running it back. That's insane.
That if this ult was
amazing part of her kit.
And even then, it's debatably already very, very strong. So she enters concerto state. Basically what this does is it kind of like takes her out of battle. She's still basically on the field, but she's completely immune to crowd control, which means that she's not going to get like stunned or anything, which is really nice. And she increases all of your allies' attack by a portion of her own attack. This basically means that you want to build her as an attack-based buffer. In my case, I have 4,300 attack, and this is with a 4-star light cone. This is going to be the event light cone that you...
Yeah, so I mean, I'm trying to like add stuff in here along with them because I'm like reacting to it, but yeah, you just want to give her a bunch of attack because of that. And then in her concerto state, if you haven't already seen, she goes, it's literally a concert. Like, she'll be singing. It's pretty cool. We'll see it, I'm sure. If we don't, I don't know what kind of video this is, so I'm sure we'll be seeing it.
On top of her crit buffs, on top of her damage bonus. So overall, just like AoE Team Bronya, basically. Robin also dishes out some damage of her own whenever she's in concerto and your teammates attack. And it has fixed crit rate and damage, so you don't have to build up her damage, you just have her.
Yeah, you can just focus on the attack, because that won't change, and she just launches it, which I'm sure he'll probably mention here, but the reason you've probably heard that she's so good for follow-up teams is because of like stuff like this, because of the attacks coming out that the follow-up teams have. That's the whole point. The follow-up, you get another attack, so we get more Robin action.
And lastly, she has another trace that basically makes it so that follow-up attacks get even more crit damage.
That part too. That part helps with the follow-ups too.
The way the kit works and how she gains more energy on ally actions, characters that use follow-up attacks, also, you know, because of this trace, end up being some of her best pairings, and so she ends up being IPC Gremlin. She's gonna be played with the follow-up IPC team, and that's her best spot. However,
I'm missing Topaz. It's the only one I'm missing from the IPC trio.
Because her buffs are so strong, any sort of characters that can run a dual DPS.
Well, I'm getting hit with a Hoyoverse ad during my Hoyoverse video.
Ladies and gentlemen.
And it's a Topaz video. I just said she's the one I'm missing. They're listening in. They're listening in.
Please welcome.
I try and cut out when YouTube cuts ads, but I'm gonna leave that one in. They're listening in. They just heard I said I'm missing her, and they're like, "Hey, she'll be coming back." Too bad I need other people.
I know that Robin is an attack buffer, but she's also a damage bonus buffer and a crit damage buffer, which means that Blade does benefit from most of her kit. Obviously, Jinglu's going to benefit from like all of her kit, and this is just one example. As we get more characters that can be useful in dual DPS comps, she'll become even stronger, similar to Ruan Mei. And that doesn't even just limit her to dual DPS comps, because in general, she's going to be a very strong character for even single DPS comps. For example, if you wanted to play Danheng and Baiba Lune, even though this isn't going to be definitively like his best.
Yeah, I haven't watched this, so I haven't seen Robin like in action here and like the official, you know, server and all that stuff. But everything I've seen and read about Robin, like, she's gonna be up there. She's gonna be insane. But we'll get to see it firsthand with our eyeballs here.
She just slots into like most single DPS comps if you want to, and then she can be SV positive, not by a ton because she's not very fast, but just as an example, like if you wanted to play her as your second Harmony for a hyper carry team, she can be okay there too. She just won't be as insane as double DPS comps. Now, as another example, if you want to play our General and Topaz, that's another option. And then lastly, you can also play her in Daunt teams. Now, she does give a ton of crit buffs, and so a lot of people are going to be like, no, you can't play her in Daunt teams. But the most important thing to remember is that not only is she giving damage bonus and attack percent, but she's also giving you an instant action forward, which if you bring Black Swan and Kafka, that's not only more Arcana stacks, but it's also another Kafka dot proc. And if you use her ultimate even just 2 times, the amount of damage you can gain from that is really absurd. So overall, she's a good...
And then... it's not a big thing, but Kafka does have a follow-up, so I'm just saying, there's that one little follow-up in there. You can throw that in the hat, in the bag, too.
I would say if you don't have Ruan Mei, Robin is a really good pickup. I would say if you do have Ruan Mei, she is skippable, even though she is going to be a timeless and very valuable character. An action forward is going to...
I think also with what he just said there about if you don't have Ruan Mei, she'll be a really good pickup. She'll be a really good pickup even if you have Ruan Mei, as he also just kind of said. But I think that they're kind of going to be... at least with like Boothill coming out, and then maybe with like some other people in the future, if depending on like how many more break effect people we get or something, I think there may be like Robin. I mean, you can run Robin with anyone, to be honest, but the follow-up team is the best. That's kind of like the follow-up team route, I guess you want to say. Then there is Ruan Mei, which is obviously going to be leaning towards break effect. So if your account kind of already has like defining personality, I guess, in which kind of way you're going. Like, if you really want Boothill, then you may just want to skip Robin if you have Ruan Mei already. If you don't have Ruan Mei at all, I think just having Robin in general will help out. But, like, if you're kind of leaning towards, like, you think the break effect characters are cool, or maybe you're more of a follow-up, you got the aventurine. If you've been playing, you have Dr. Ratio since he was free. And then you have, like, Topaz. Maybe you lean towards that. Again, you can run Ruan Mei and Robin with just about anybody, realistically, but in, like, the best-case scenario teams, that's just kind of the feeling I'm getting. They're kind of given more options, so you don't have to... you can kind of take your account down more of a singular route, I want to say. You don't want to have only one team, because obviously in MLC and Pure Fiction, it can get tough if you only have one usable team. But yeah, it's kind of like we're branching out here, giving more options. Then there's Sparkle, of course, with like Don Hong as like another route.
Now this is just for the energy regen. You could technically play penacony as well, and that's also fine. Either one is cool. I just want to get as much regen as possible, and we're using her free-to-play 4-star light cone. So this is going to be one of her best.
Yeah, that's another thing. You want all the energy you can get on her, so you can just have her alt state basically up all the time.
Is going to give her extra 5 energy every single wave. Since we're not in Pure Fiction, we don't actually need this. It is useful. I don't want to give you the impression that it's not useful, but I personally would rather have Dr. Ratio here for the extra debuff. Not that that matters, because we just missed the debuff anyways. Okay, so basically, let's start off with
good times.
Get the 50% damage bonus, and look at that animation, dude. She's so pretty.
She's ready. She's a star, man. Robin is a star. That looks sick. Also, that enemy right there.
All right, we're just gonna kind of go through and take our turns as we.
Numby just going off. Topaz.
Yes, we can. All right, so Robin does.
All right, that guy, the candle in like the cage. It's like it got a candle head in the cage. I think that's a cool design. I'm just throwing that out there. Looks cool.
Have her ultimate. So I'm gonna actually basic attack here, and then I'm gonna go through Topaz and Ratio's turns.
This is big.
I'm gonna use her ultimate to bring them back up immediately.
Yep,
that's
big.
the plan. So I'm gonna save Dr. Ratio's procs here. I'm gonna
gotta make sure you're getting the most out of your attacks with her ability to bring everyone forward.
Skill with Ratio, and then we're gonna immediately Robin ult.
Boom!
Follow up. Big damage. And here we go.
Look at that.
This is.
Look at that. Everybody's back up. The whole gang's ready to run it back, jump the enemy. That is so big. Because the reason I keep bringing it up, I've said it like 3 times already how big this is. It's because I know people aren't gonna like think to do that, and then they may lose or something because they didn't get all the damage, and it's like, you could have done it. You could have had it. You gotta remember to have everyone attack, and then you launch that Robin ult, because it's an ult. You can pop it whenever.
It's beautiful.
Ooh.
The song is so pretty and fun and cheery. It's so nice.
And this alone might make me want to get her, just purely because you get to jam out to this song while you're battling.
I don't want to play the game anymore, you know?
That's how I'm feeling, dog.
It's so catchy.
You know, I'm actually gonna move myself. Oh, that's not me.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna move myself just because Brax is right there.
All right, this will trigger Dr. Ratio, and we'll get all of the buffs from Robin while we're in here. Oh, also, one thing I want to go ahead and showcase real quick before we go in.
You have like both of us on either side now.
she's out here performing. Imagine everyone on the team is just dying, and she's just like, nothing's gonna interrupt my show. This is so fun. I love Robin. So that is amazing. Look at the
if they add, like, I get Robin's whole thing is being a singer, so I'm not sure how many other people will have alts like that. But if they had like soundtracks while like someone's got like an alt up, so like a alt kind of like that. Obviously the like one-off attack alts, you know. That's just Robin's just so cool, man. With that song, that song alone makes her just amazing.
So over to the left of my camera, you see this 112 thing? This is actually her song ending. So it has a base 90 speed that's unaffected by other things. What that means is your characters are probably gonna get about 2 attacks between the beginning and the end of the song, which means that you're getting a pretty solid uptime. The faster your characters are, the better this ult is gonna be. Aside from Robin, because her speed doesn't affect it.
That's true. Yeah, the song just has a set speed. So I mean, I guess if you got really fast people, that's just the better. I mean, I guess it depends also what team you're running. You can also like have people jump ahead if you're running like a Bronya or something. I don't know what crazy teams people are gonna try and run with her, but
this at all. The follow-up attack.
That'd be a lot of action for it, a Bronya and a Robin.
Robin's also dishing out her own damage here. She does 12k on her own.
Oh, I see. So it's not a little animation. They just add the number in alongside. Ratio's is the yellow crit number there, and then Robin's is the gray one. She's a physical type. Physical's gray. Okay, so they just add it in on top alongside, and you can see what hers is by the color next to. Okay.
Another 12k
that's cool.
On top. So it does add up to be a fair bit of damage. Robin can still take damage, as you can see, but she cannot be CC'd. She has the effect res from aventurine, but she also can't be CC'd while she's singing, because the power of music trumps everything, I guess. Now, if you ever get
the power of friendship and song, baby.
Which I know course we're never gonna get sick of the song. If you turn off music, it just goes away. So if you like listening to in-game music and you don't like Robin's song, unfortunately that is, I guess a downside if you don't like the song. But you,
I guess that is kind of tough. Not having the in-game, like if you turn the in-game music off, you can't hear Robin's song. I mean, it makes sense, it's music, but like, okay. I guess you'll have to listen to the normal Honkai Star Rail music if you want to listen. You could just turn off the music and then when she ults, pause and turn it back up. But all right, that is kind of, you know.
Music. So it's nothing crazy. And as you can see, she's still generating.
And I guess if you don't like Robin's song.
So what's actually really interesting about this is that because she's generating energy while this is happening, you can actually have full uptime on her if you have the right team setups. So if I have Dr. Ratio, Aventurine, and Topaz hitting enough follow-up attacks to regen energy for her, and she's also taking damage, she can have her ult up right away.
Man, YouTube ads is crazy. Just made me cut out again.
Kill before 28, all of our allies will come forward, which is like not the perfect solution because obviously like they were right about to attack. It also picks up where the song left off, I guess, which is kind of cool. And as you can see,
really?
it does carry over.
Oh, that's big time. I guess. I mean,
right,
that's just kind of like a cool little.
And her buff is over, so we're gonna use her skill. Now, one thing about
little
Robin
thing
and her skill is that her skill is generating 35 energy. A lot of people might be wondering about meshing cogs and other light cone options, and there are a lot of great light cone options for Robin outside of just the 4-star one that we're getting from this event. Robin is gonna be very slow. You want to build her with her attack to maximize her buff. Realistically, you can build her to be SP positive and build her fast. That's an option that you have, and you can build her with cogs, but that'll lessen the amount of attack buff that you get. She's not limited like Tingyun, where Tingyun has a max amount of attack. She just gives you a bunch of attack. So because of that, it ends up being better usually to build her with an attack-based light cone, like the event one that we have. And then if you have the skill points to do so, you want to use her skill just so that way you can get more uptime on her ultimate. But if you're ever unsure, you can always just look at the energy bank to check how much you need, and then decide if you want a basic attack.
Tingyun is limited. I mean, I'm just gonna explain what he just said, but yeah, Tingyun's limited. So, I mean, I guess if you were thinking of viewing her the same as, like, Tingyun of, oh, maybe I shouldn't put it all into attack, Robin will just give you more. The more attack you got on Robin, the more attack you got on the squad. You just want more attack. You want more. More. Tingyun, not the same.
Her energy is a little weird.
Robin is just better.
So it's something to think about. Basic attack, this guy, Dr. Ratio. Robin's still gaining energy because of her passive. Keep doing follow-up attack. She just keeps getting more and more energy. So
yeah, that's also...
don't need the energy.
Another big reason for the follow-up team because of all those extra, like the extra attacks because of follow-ups. She's just gonna be in her concert state way more than
so I can just
not having all those extra follow-up attacks to have her
until right before the end of the cycle to give us some more attacks on Ratio and Topaz. We didn't crit, unlucky. And now we're gonna activate her song a third time. A banger, a certified banger, and she's doing a lot more damage. 16k per hit right now. This is Dr. Ratio. He's gonna hit a follow-up attack. Nubby's gonna attack. Dr. Ratio's gonna get another follow-up after this. It's just so many attacks in a row. She's still gaining energy. She's almost halfway up again. And though we didn't clear in that cycle, we dished out so much more damage before it ended because we got the extra attacks. So it's just about timing your Robin ult to be after your DPS of attack, so that way they can get the most time possible. So that clear was 3 cycles.
Yes, sir.
We could absolutely do better, depending on how many times we're willing to reset and how many times we're willing to test our debuffs. Now, other light cones you can use for her, obviously, there's a lot of Harmony light cones, and her best in slot is going to be your signature if you can get it, but you absolutely
It's always going to be the case. I think, like, almost every time, depending on, like, except a few situations, they make their light cone for them specifically. Like, it's tailor-made. It's always going to be just, like, it's always going to be that guy. There's maybe a couple situations where that's not the case, but, like, for the vast majority.
Like I said, we have this free-to-play light cone that's going to give her a ton of attack.
But, yeah, I mean... when there's things, especially the free-to-play one, giving a whole bunch of attack, don't feel like, especially if you want both Robin and Boothill, going, unless you're wailing out and you just got bans to spend on Star Rail, you probably are going to skip the light cones for probably both of them. Since Boothill is second, I guess that gives you a chance to then just continue to spend and try and get Boothill's light cone if you pull Robin and then Boothill like quickly and you still have Jade left over or something. But yeah, don't feel, I guess, you need Robin's light cone. Obviously it's better if you get it, but it definitely seems like we have good options here, and I'm sure he's going to go through some more.
Make our attack buff really big, and then get damage bonus as well. So it's a really solid one for her overall because she also does a little bit of damage. But her signature is going to basically increase her energy regen, which helps her get uptime on her ultimate, and it also gives her a ton of attack.
And he wasn't even running that during his little showcase display right there, he was running the free-to-play one, and you saw that he was able to still get all those ults. Now, in part, that was with the follow-up team, so I guess if you're not running the IPC follow-up squad, the gang, then you may not get quite as much energy because she's not getting all those extra attacks from all the extra follow-ups. But yeah, so just imagine even more uptime on your ultimate because you're getting more energy than what you just saw there. So you can kind of make a decision off of that if you want.
And it gives damage bonus. So it is
And then also what kind of team you're going to run.
For you, you absolutely don't need it, though. There are so many different Harmony icons you can use. Like, you can even use But the Battle Isn't Over for the energy regen and for the extra skill point when you use your ultimate twice. And it's basically the same thing as Past and Future with the damage bonus. If you're playing a physical character, you can play Planetary Rendezvous. That's going to be fine. And Carve the Moon, Weave the Clouds is always going to be just a decent overall.
So I guess what physical characters would you really run with her? Luca, Boothill. Maybe you're gonna want to run Boothill or run May though. I mean, I guess you could try running it with both. That's the fun thing. You could try it out, see if you want. I feel like Argenti. I guess you could run Argenti. Yeah, Argenti. I feel like physical. Maybe it's just my account doesn't have a lot of physical people, but because I don't have Argenti. But like,
Choice if you have it.
I don't know. I feel like physical could also use some more stuff.
You can use Memories of the Past. The attack is going to be a little bit lower. For example, I have 4,300 attack right now.
At least in
if
DPS
I go
terms.
over and use Memories of the Past, it ends up being 3,700 attack. So it is a big drop off in comparison, which will affect the overall attack gains that your teammates get. And if we go from the free-to-play event light cone all the way to cogs, which is what I was talking about before, it goes down to 3,400. So that's almost 1k attack loss.
That's big.
Going from the event light cone to cogs. And considering that her skill gets an extra 5 energy, cogs is making her basic attack 28. Her trace is making the skill 35. So the difference in using her skill, I would say, is worth it in teams where you can afford to use the SP. If you can't, then cogs and Memories of the Past are acceptable. I wouldn't recommend it super highly, but it is a possibility for you. All right, so let me show you this dot team real quick, because this is the next thing I want to showcase.
The dot squad, baby. Love me some Kafka and Black Swan.
DPS characters. You can even play like Clara and stuff with her, but I want to show you guys sort of what it looks like.
Clara, that's another one, dude. How'd I forget about her?
Kafka skill.
Or in Svarog, baby.
Just so that way we can get the healing.
Other physical.
When we need it. Everyone's about to attack, so I think it's a pretty good idea. We could just immediately do this, to be honest. Since we did get our ultimate really fast, we could just instantly drag everyone up, completely interrupt the flow of the enemies, which is super nice. And as you can tell, like, even though we're not getting like a ton from crit, well, I mean, Kafka's still critting sometimes, but it's not super relevant. The crit bumps from her don't matter a ton, but the attack bonus and the damage bonus we're getting are huge. And dude, those hits are really big. My dot teams are usually pretty underinvested. My Black Swan's definitely not optimal for damage. And we're still hitting pretty big.
Me too, man. I still need more work on my Black Swan. Or I just feel I do.
It really, really adds up. Holy. Do this, we can basic attack, get another follow-up attack.
Boom.
Within that window.
Yeah, and then you get the Robin bonus damage on the follow-up with Kafka. So you are getting some follow-up there.
But we actually don't, like, I don't feel like we need it right now. So we're going to basic attack, finish off this wave. Now we're on the next cycle. So this is what I wanted to do. Go ahead and skill, proc some dots. We can basic attack with Hoi Hoi. I keep calling, god damn it, the Poke Brain Rot, man. We can do this. We can get all of their ults up right now. And realistically, I should have hit Robin's before Kafka, but again, I have various different forms of Brain Rot. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Dude, it just ends up being so good. Since Kafka's going up again, I'm going to go ahead and just let Japard attack here. What a bop. We'll go ahead and do this.
And yeah, you get to vibe too. While you're doing this insane damage that Robin supplies, you get to vibe out to her just jam, man.
And dude, that damage bonus and attack is just so massive, man. It's just so big. Okay, so now Robin's up. Now we have a choice to make. So we're at 93 out of 160 energy. Technically speaking, we would want to skill twice to guarantee that we get our ult in 2 turns. But we're actually going to have some enemies attacking us here pretty soon, and our skill points are low. So I'm going to go ahead and use the basic attack, and then we'll skill next turn when she needs to re-up her buff again. We also have Ho-Ho going here soon. And Ho-Ho is super valuable with Robin because 20% of 160 is really massive. Yeah, these bonuses are just so good. And plus, when Robin's adding on damage on top of that, it really ends up being huge.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't want Robin to die, which I guess another thing, when you're running her with the IPC trio, you have aventurine there. So she's probably not going to die. I feel like aventurine is just, as long as you have aventurine, invested, like aventurine's just keeping people, he's just keeping the squad alive. I mean, with Waha too, she can heal, but like, just feel like that's another great reason to run her with Aventurine, the follow-ups and all that stuff, and then she's probably not gonna die.
This guy's super weak. As long as he doesn't attack Robin again, we're good. There we go. Robin helps with the attack.
See that right there?
And Robin we can skill on. And
Robin's a, like max HP now. Yeah, that would be my Robin would attack. He would attack Robin again for me. That would 1,000,000% happen to me.
As much time as the follow-up team. That can change based on your luck, and it can also just change based off of like the enemy. Yeah, no, it's basically just luck. Like if your debuffs are hitting, what enemies are being hit with debuffs, and then like what enemies target which characters can all affect these kinds of things. But as you can see, the dot characters end up being really, really good with Robin too. Now, can you still use them with Ruan Mei? Absolutely, because both these characters are very valuable for both these types of teams. Any sort of double DPS team, both Robin and Ruan Mei end up being really good in. Robin just also ends up being good specifically for follow-up teams because she has the extra crit damage for follow-up characters and because she gains energy like on actions. So that she
big follow-up girl, Robin.
But she's not only useful in follow-up, and I just really want to drive that point home that she's actually a very good character in general, and she has a free-to-play friendly light code if you play during this patch because you're going to be able to get this for free, which is super awesome. So lastly, let's talk about her pull value a little bit. Looking at Eidolons, her E1 is pretty solid. It's going to give all of your allies res pen by 24%,
type res pen?
which, funny enough, is actually the ultimate of Ruan Mei. So if you get E1 of her, then she also gets the res pen that basically Ruan Mei also has, which ends up making her like really, really solid. And even the conditions are the same, right? Like you just need to ult. So overall, E1 does end up being really good, but E2 is kind of a trap. Now, the reason is the ally speed increase to 16% is nice and all, but unless you're breaking a specific speed threshold, this doesn't end up being actually that useful overall. The amount of extra attacks you're going to get,
especially because it's only in concerto state, not just like all the time. Yeah, I don't know. I would have to probably do some math or something to, or just look up. I'm sure someone's done the math already. I can just look it up on what kind of speed you need to really make the most out of the extra 16%. But yeah. No, I definitely agree with that.
This does not outweigh the cost of getting another Eidolon, in my opinion.
Unless you're big whale.
Because you're just Nina Aoyama or something, you know? The talent energy regen thing is kind of nice, though. It's basically 50% more energy from other characters attacking, which is going to be really nice. But it's not super necessary. Skill and ult for Eidolon 3. And E4 makes her able to cleanse and also gives her effect res for your teammates. Now,
using ultimate, this will kill from all allies, and while Robin is increases effect resistance of all allies. Okay, I mean, so
the really funny part about this is if you play with Aventurine, you can just get 100% effect res.
She's meant to be with Aventurine. It's just meant to be. Also, like what I said, keeping her alive and then him being a follow-up. But yeah, I mean, that's also super nice because it makes it way less likely. Because she obviously cannot be affected by crowd control during her concerto. But now basically the rest of your team, it's a real difficult that they will. And then if you have Aventurine, they're not going to be. But
which I just think is just really silly. Ultimately, I don't think this is super necessary because usually if you're playing like a good healer, this isn't a problem. Or if you're playing Aventurine, odds are most of the time you're not going to be CC'd anyways. So it's not super necessary, but obviously it's a very big improvement. And then E6 is whenever you have Concerto active, it basically just adds to her damage that she does just by making the crit damage insane. It can only trigger 8 times per use, but honestly, that's like, I mean, that's a lot of damage still.
Damn. Yeah, 8 times and then resets for the next ultimate. Like it's 8 times during her ultimate, and then it resets to the next ultimate. You can get up to another 8 times of that extra 450%. But that's E6.
It can only trigger 8 times per use, but honestly, that's like
the most people aren't getting Robin E6 unless you've been saving up for Robin or you got that card ready.
I think you stop at E1, but I personally wouldn't. In terms of general pull value, I do think Robin is a really solid pickup. I did mention this earlier. I think if you have Ruan Mei, you don't need to pull for Robin. I think there's going to be a lot of people that are like, oh, this is the best support in the game because Ruan Mei was the best support in the game, which I still kind of disagree with because I think the amount of teams that you have that are double DPS comps that are actually available to the average player are lower than the amount of hyper carry comps that are available to the average player. Many of the characters that are available in dual DPS can be played in solo DPS, but not many characters that are solo DPS can all be played in dual DPS. So because of that, I actually don't think that she's a must pull by any means, but I think that if you're going to qualify her as a must pull, she's a must pull in the same value as Ruan Mei. It's just that she also has the action forward, which does add a lot of damage overall.
And then I would also add, if you run the follow-up squad, you probably won't. Like, you specifically, like if you enjoy running the follow-up Topaz Aventurine ratio trio, then you probably want Robin. As he showed, you could run her with Kafka and Black Swan, but you can also run Ruan Mei there if you have Ruan Mei already, so it's not like you need that. If you want boothill, probably might skip just to say for boothill.
It does make her a very timeless support. She's always
Our
going to be
beloved space cowboy.
because her buffs are so general. The only way that Robin becomes not valuable in the game is if there's some kind of penalty for playing dual DPS, or if she just gets straight up power crept. Some people might argue that Robin is just straight up Ruan Mei power creep. I would disagree with that just because Ruan Mei does provide some things that Robin does not, and Robin does end up being like way more optimal for follow-up setups, whereas Ruan Mei is arguably more optimal for dot setups. So there's a couple different use cases for these characters, but they do end up being really, really solid overall. I really like Robin. I think that in general, she's going to be a good pickup for most accounts, but you definitely don't need her if you already have Ruan Mei.
I would also say when we're getting down, like I know he flashed that thing up, like some of the math saying Robin or whatever is better. For most people that play this game, you're probably not gonna get that, you know, in depth with the very specific numbers. Like, oh, we're doing a little bit more damage here if we have Robin in these, you know, situations with this light gun or whatever. You know, it's good to know that information, that like what's the most optimal. But I think for a lot of people, it's not necessarily the biggest deal because you're probably aren't gonna have all your units completely optimized anyway. That's just my like general take. A lot of people, even if you don't play the game necessarily like super casually, because there's definitely varying ranges to how you play these games, how much you care and stuff. But like, and for a lot of people, it's not gonna matter that much between the two.
Or if you want a dot buffer or something, Robin's a really solid pickup overall, and I would argue like very, very valuable. As long as you don't hate her song, you'll probably want to be playing her a lot of the time. So, anyways, guys, I hope this answered some of your questions about Robin. Of course, I'll be doing a full Robin guide when she releases.
Big time video. I'll probably also make something about Robin. Robin guide. Whether I get her or not, we'll see. I still haven't decided because again, I mean, I have obviously Ratio and Aventurine. Don't have Topaz. I know she's coming back, but I really want boothill, so like I'm not gonna summon for Topaz. And because I really want boothill, I'll see about Robin. But yeah, from what I've seen from this, my takeaways: if you run follow up, this is probably a must summon for you if you're a big follow-up fan. That's like your thing. You like the follow-up squad. I'd get Robin for sure. If you don't run them, probably not a must summon, but she will be very good. So if you want her, go get her. If you're not feeling, because we did also get the drip marking recently for Firefly / Sam and Jade. If you're not feeling like you want boothill, who we saw a little bit of his kit during the live stream, Firefly / Sam and Jade. If you don't think you want them or something, then go for Robin for sure. If you want boothill and you're not gonna like swipe that card, then maybe think about not getting Robin. That's just my thoughts. But yeah, banger video, Brax. Huge, awesome stuff here. Cool to see it, you know, before it comes out on the creator server. Would love to do it myself, but we ain't there yet. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Are you guys summoning for Robin? Are you saving for boothill? Are you saving for Sam / Firefly? I know a lot of people are saving for that. Or Jade. They all look sick, man. They just keep dropping banger after banger after banger here, man. They're not giving us any rest. Our Jades cannot sleep. It's crazy. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, all that good stuff. Hope y'all are having the best days. Staying happy and healthy. I'll catch y'all